GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, I'm Jordan Parker. We'll start with a Russian cargo plane grounded at Pearson, then a warm, humid weekend forecast for the city. Traffic's moderate with gardener work, and the August artisan market is kicking off on Harborfront. Over to you, Nathan.
The GMNA gift shop just launched, and it's delightfully tiny. Only 2 mugs on display, but they're official merch, and the shop runs on quick e-com.
Yeah, swing by shop.gmna.ca, grab a mug before the next design lands. Our inventory's basically a coffee break waiting room.
With just 2 mugs, you could memorize each pattern in a single coffee run, perfect for collectors who love scarcity more than variety.
Small shop, big smiles. So next, let's dive into today's news. Lots to get to. Let's begin and see what else awaits us. Here are our top stories.
A Russian-owned cargo jet valued at $300 million has remained grounded at Toronto Pearson for 4 years after Canada barred Russian flights following the 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Simon Okonkwo has the full story.
Since Canada shut its airspace to Russian aircraft after the invasion of Ukraine in 2022, a Russian-owned cargo plane worth $300 million has sat idle on the tarmac at Toronto Pearson International Airport. The wide-body freighter, parked near the main runway, has become a familiar sight for commuters driving past the airport over the past 4 years. Officials say the aircraft cannot leave Canadian soil until diplomatic clearances are granted, and the airline has yet to arrange a new home base. The grounded jet remains fully fueled and maintained, but its future status is uncertain as negotiations continue between the two governments. Simon Okonkwo, GMNA News, Pearson.
Toronto heads into a warm, humid weekend with sunny skies and July-like heat from August 28 through 30, 2026. Expect rising humidity across the city. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
Sunny skies will blanket the city this weekend, while humidity climbs towards 75% and temperatures feel like mid-July. Forecasts show highs in the low 80s, with the heat index edging close to 90 degrees on both Saturday and Sunday. After a brief cooler spell earlier in the week, the classic muggy summer air returns for the final weekend of August. Light breezes off Lake Ontario will offer brief relief, but won't cut the stickiness. No rain is expected, keeping conditions dry and bright across downtown, the waterfront, and neighborhood parks. Outdoor diners, joggers, and festival goers should be prepared for warm, humid weather throughout the 2-day stretch. Evenings will cool to the mid-60s, perfect for patios. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Yorkville.
Toronto's housing market is poised for a seasonal uptick this autumn, though buyers remain cautious amid economic uncertainty and a growing U.S.-Canada trade dispute. Simon Okonkwo has the full story.
Experts say Toronto's housing market is set to gain momentum this autumn, with a modest uptick in both listings and buyer interest after a comparatively quiet summer. They caution, however, that shoppers remain hesitant, citing lingering economic uncertainty and a brewing U.S.-Canada trade dispute that has softened consumer confidence. While the seasonal pattern traditionally brings more transactions, the prevailing wariness could temper the pace of sales. Nonetheless, agents anticipate a noticeable rise in activity through the fall months, driven by buyers looking to lock in rates before year-end. The outlook suggests a rebound in movement, even as caution tempers enthusiasm on the ground. The forecast for fall 2026 points to a gradual climb across neighborhoods like Yorkville and the downtown core, keeping the market active despite the lingering doubts. Simon Okonkwo, GMNA News, Toronto.
Beachgoers on Scarborough Beach discovered the body of a swimmer reported missing yesterday, prompting an OPP investigation. Authorities are confirming details as the community mourns. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
Beachgoers strolling along the sand early Saturday morning uncovered a lifeless body near the water's edge, confirming the disappearance of a local Scarborough swimmer reported missing just the day before. Ontario provincial police officers arrived within minutes, securing the scene and beginning a formal identification process. Witnesses described the area as unusually quiet, noting that the tide was low and the shoreline relatively clear. The find occurred close to the boardwalk, a popular stretch where families often gather. Investigators are now working with the family to verify identity and determine the circumstances surrounding the swimmer's death. The OPP has asked anyone with additional information to come forward, though details remain limited as they continue their inquiry. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Scarborough.
Ontario Provincial Police and responders say a transport truck fire forced a shutdown of Highway 401 eastbound collector lanes at Winston Churchill Boulevard in Mississauga 1:58 a.m., with no injuries reported. Simon Okonkwo has the full story.
At about 1:58 in the morning, a transport truck ignited on the eastbound collector lanes of Highway 401 at Winston Churchill Boulevard in Mississauga. Ontario Provincial Police and fire crews responded, sealing off the entire eastbound collector stretch. No injuries were reported. Ontario Provincial Police coordinated the scene with fire services and paramedics, establishing a safety perimeter while traffic was diverted to the adjacent westbound lanes and nearby Queen Elizabeth Way. The blaze forced a full shutdown of the eastbound corridor, spilling traffic onto alternate routes and causing significant delays across the Greater Toronto area. Crews worked through the night to extinguish the fire and clear the wreckage, allowing traffic to resume by early morning. Simon Okonkwo, GMNA News, Winston Churchill.
Up next, we'll explore how Canada's universities are bringing in dozens of foreign scientists to boost research. Stay tuned. We will be right back. Thinking about selling online, most people give up long before they ever get a store open. Quickie.com changes that. Pick a template, add your products, and you are open for business. $10 a month, that is the whole price, no setup fees, and no cut of your sales. And there is the 10 on 10 guarantee. If you are not live in 10 minutes, your first month is on us. Mugs, apparel, crafts, coffee, if you can photograph it, you can sell it. Visit quickie.com and open your store today. 10 minutes from now, you could be in business. I'm Tessa from GMNA Studios.
Welcome back. Canada's leading universities, including the University of British Columbia, McGill, and the University of Toronto, are hiring dozens of foreign scientists and researchers for faculty positions nationwide. Simon Okonkwo has the full story.
University campuses across the country are filling new research chairs and lab roles with scientists arriving from abroad. At the University of British Columbia, a fresh cohort of physicists and biochemists are signing contracts this week, joining existing teams in Vancouver. Down east, McGill University in Montreal has welcomed a group of engineers and climate specialists, while the University of Toronto reports a similar influx of data analysts and medical researchers. Administrators say the hires are intended to support grant funding and expand interdisciplinary projects, and the newcomers are settling into faculty offices and shared labs while families adjust to new neighborhoods. They are slated to begin teaching and supervising graduate students this semester. Simon Okonkwo, GMNA News, Toronto.
Toronto mayoral hopefuls are outlining plans to shield local businesses from the Canada-US tariff dispute, promising support measures as the trade war pressures the city's economy. Simon Okonkwo has the full story.
Candidates for Toronto's 2026 mayoral race are laying out plans to shield small firms from the fallout of the Canada-US tariff dispute. They say the city would expand grant programs, speed up permit approvals, and launch a business recovery task force to navigate higher import costs. One hopeful proposes a temporary tax relief for retailers hit by rising prices on cross-border goods, while another vows to partner with provincial agencies to secure alternative supply chains. Several candidates also promise to hold town hall sessions in affected neighborhoods, giving owners a direct channel to voice concerns. All are framing the trade tension as a key issue that could shape the city's economic outlook for the next 4 years. Simon Okonkwo, GMNA News, Toronto.
10 Toronto hikers remain missing after a sudden flash flood in Nepal this week, prompting a search effort coordinated by local authorities and the organizing nonprofit. Simone Okonkwo has the full story.
Flash water surged through the trekking routes in Nepal this week, sweeping away the path and leaving 10 Toronto hikers unaccounted for. The group, assembled by a local nonprofit that arranged the expedition, was caught in the sudden rush of water near the village of Manang. Rescue teams from Nepalese authorities and international volunteers have been combing the gorge, but no bodies have been recovered, and the missing remain out of contact. Families back in Canada have been notified and are awaiting word as officials continue to widen the search area despite lingering mudslides and unstable banks. The situation remains fluid, with hopes that any clue will guide rescuers toward the missing trekkers. Simone Okonkwo, GMNA News, Toronto.
Police are investigating a suspected arson after multiple vehicles were set ablaze at the Scarborough residence of a federal Liberal MP on August 27. The Toronto Police Service is leading the inquiry. Tobias Kwan has the full story.
Police arrived at a suburban home in Scarborough on the evening of August 27, 2026, after neighbors reported flames licking the driveway. Fire crews extinguished 3 cars that had been set ablaze, and officers quickly cordoned off the property. The residence belongs to a federal Liberal member of Parliament, and detectives are treating the case as a suspected arson. Investigators are canvassing the area for surveillance footage and speaking with anyone who might have seen suspicious activity before the fire. No injuries were reported, but the blaze left the vehicles heavily damaged. Police have not released a motive and are asking anyone with information to come forward. The scene remained secured through the night as forensic teams collected evidence. Tobias Kwan, GMNA News, Scarborough. Metrolinx will raise its first-time fare evasion penalty to $200 on September 8, affecting riders across Toronto's regional transit network. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
Metrolinx announced a new penalty for riders caught without a valid ticket. Starting on the 8th of September, $200 will be the fine for a first-time fare evasion offense on any Metrolinx-operated subway, GO train, or bus service. The change comes as part of the agency's effort to curb revenue loss and ensure compliance across the network. Inspectors will issue the citation on the spot, and the amount is payable within the standard timeframe. The policy applies province-wide, but today I am standing at the bustling Union Station concourse where commuters can see the updated signage and hear reminders over the public address system. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Toronto.
Now let's hand it over for your afternoon forecast with our meteorologist.
A stubborn high-pressure ridge and a southwest jet keep skies clear while the air slowly destabilizes. On this date, Toronto's all-time heat mark sits at 32.3 degrees, set back in 2018 during an extended heat wave that pushed the Great Lakes into record-breaking warmth. The cold counterpart is 12.1 degrees, recorded in 2025 when an Arctic dip slipped unusually far south, blanketing the city in a brief but sharp freeze. Today's climatological normals hover around 22 degrees high and 15 degrees low, so both extremes sit well outside the usual range, underscoring how rare those historic swings truly are. Turning to the live radar, the screen is almost featureless across southern Ontario. No rain bands or convective cores are visible, and the reflectivity remains at background levels. That emptiness reflects the entrenched high pressure and the gentle southwest jet that is steering any lingering moisture eastward out of the basin. Expect the clear pattern to hold over Toronto for the next several hours, with the next measurable echo not arriving until after sunset. At noon, the city sits under a bright cloud-free sky with the thermometer reading 19 degrees. A high-pressure ridge dominates, but it is beginning to flatten, allowing the pressure field to ease lower and invite a touch of instability by evening. Overhead, the southwest jet streams at roughly 77 kilometers per hour, threading the mid-levels and keeping any lingering moisture aloft. The forecast calls for a gentle rise to a maximum of 20 degrees this afternoon, then a slow dip to 14 degrees after sunset. UV index registers 6, reflecting moderate solar intensity. Winds will remain light, hovering around 12 kilometers per hour from the north with occasional gusts up to 24 kilometers per hour. No weather alerts are in effect, and precipitation remains absent throughout the day. Looking ahead, Saturday brings a cloudy start with temperatures climbing to 23 degrees and dipping to 14 at night, a modest rise that hints at a lingering maritime influence. Sunday turns more humid, holding at 26 degrees high and 19 low, while low clouds linger and a 20% chance of rain teases the afternoon. Monday follows with a similar warm profile, 24 degrees up and 20 low, but the rain probability climbs to 30% as a slow-moving frontal boundary drifts eastward. Tuesday spikes to a scorching 30 degrees with a low of 21, and the atmosphere becomes fully moist, delivering a 40% chance of rain and scattered showers. Wednesday eases back to 28 degrees high and 18 low, with light rain persisting and a 45% likelihood, marking the wettest stretch of the week. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic humming with delays, the August artisan market is buzzing, and chamber spotlight shines on Tuscan Wolf Pizzeria. Stay tuned, we will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
The Queensway near South Kingsway is shut after a single vehicle crash left a woman in life-threatening condition. Emergency crews are on scene, and traffic is backed up for several kilometers. Just north, a pedestrian was struck at Carlaw Avenue and Commissioners Street and is now in hospital with serious injuries. That intersection is closed while police investigate. A hit and run on Don Mills Road at Lawrence Avenue East caused a 3-lane slowdown, with officers still searching for the driver. Construction continues to bite into the Gardiner Expressway, where lane reductions are in place through the afternoon, and Parliament Street remains narrowed between Distillery Lane and the CNR tracks. Those bottlenecks are adding 10 to 15 minutes to east-west trips. On transit, the 510 Spadina streetcar is suspended between Queens Quay Loop and Union Station as crews clear the CNE-related blockage. All other TTC routes are running on schedule.
Tonight the Blue Jays take on the Yankees at the Rogers Center, tip-off at 7:10 p.m., a must-see for any baseball fan and a perfect excuse to grab a hot dog before the weekend. Across town, the First Class Fest kicks off at the Bowl in Sobeys Stadium. Day one of a 2-day lineup that's already buzzing with Osama Sun, Chi, and Lancey Fu, so bring your crew for non-stop beats. If you're craving island vibes, the Trinbago Toronto Festival lights up Nathan Phillips Square with food, live performances, and art free for the whole family right now. And for a slower pace, the August Artisan Market rolls through High Park, a 3-day showcase of handcrafted goods and tasty stalls ideal for a Saturday stroll. Stay tuned, tomorrow the festival returns for day 2 and Thai Fest opens at Sankofa Square, promising more flavor later this week. And now here's Marcus with sports.
Wildcard fever spikes as Toronto's season hangs on every upcoming matchup. The Blue Jays open a pivotal 3-game set against the Mariners this weekend, a direct showdown in the American League wildcard scramble. With both clubs eyeing the final postseason berth, every win reshapes the standings and forces the front office to reassess roster depth ahead of the stretch run. After a 13-2 drubbing by Kansas City, manager John Schneider faced a chorus of boos in the stands and responded that he understands the frustration but still trusts the fans' loyalty. His message underscores the need for the lineup to tighten up and for the clubhouse to rally before the next series. The 13-2 loss to the Royals marked Toronto's second consecutive series defeat, pushing the Blue Jays 3.5 games behind the third wildcard threshold. That gap forces the club into a win-or-die mode, with every upcoming matchup now a must-win to stay alive. Stay tuned, the chase intensifies and every game now matters.
Thanks, Marcus. Tuscan Wolf Pizzeria opens its Toronto outpost at 59 Merchants Wharf, Unit G in the Harbourfront neighborhood. The award-winning Whitby-born pizzeria brings authentic Tuscan-style pizza, house-made pastas, and inventive dishes like the Olimpo hybrid pizza calzone to the waterfront. The new space offers a wood-filled dining room overlooking the lake, giving locals and tourists a spot to linger after a walk or bike ride. It's more than a new restaurant. It's a gathering place where the city's love of food meets its love of community, adding flavor and fellowship to Toronto's shoreline, a slice of Tuscan tradition that feels like a neighbor next door. Beyond the menu, the opening creates jobs for local staff and teams with nearby fishermen to showcase fresh, sustainable seafood toppings. Coming up, we break down the legal fight as groups challenge Ontario's new cash bail rules. Stay with us for the details. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. The Trinbago Festival rolls into Toronto City Hall this weekend, bringing Caribbean music, food, and family fun. The two-day event runs Saturday and Sunday at 60 Queen Street West, drawing crowds citywide. Residents can expect live performances, cultural showcases, and a vibrant street market. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks, Jordan Parker. I'm standing on the stone steps of Toronto City Hall, the glass dome glinting above as a swirl of steel blue banners ripple in the summer breeze. Below, families and friends gather around a makeshift stage draped in bright red, yellow, and green, the colors of Trinidad and Barbados fluttering beside the city's own flag. The air hums with the syncopated beat of soca drums, while the scent of jerk chicken, roti, and fried plantains drifts from a line of food stalls that spill onto the plaza. Children chase each other between carnival games, their laughter mixing with the call of a steel pan band that has the crowd clapping in unison. Local artisans showcase hand-woven fabrics and beadwork, each piece telling a story of island heritage transplanted to downtown Toronto. This weekend, from Friday, August 28 through Sunday, August 30, the city becomes a bridge between cultures, reminding us that community thrives when we share our roots. Carl Dumont virtually at City Hall.
Welcome back.
Two legal groups have launched a court challenge to Ontario's new cash deposit bail policy, arguing it oversteps federal jurisdiction and could restrict pre-trial release. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
Two legal groups have launched a court challenge to Ontario's brand new cash deposit bail system. The plaintiffs argue the policy oversteps provincial authority and will tighten the net on people awaiting trial, making release harder. The province rolled out the cash deposit requirement earlier this year, mandating a monetary pledge as a condition for bail across Ontario. In their filing, the organizations contend that criminal law falls under federal jurisdiction, and the new rule interferes with that constitutional division. They say the deposit could deter low-income defendants from securing freedom before their day in court. The case heads to the Ontario Superior Court, where a judge will weigh the constitutional claim. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Toronto.
7 Ontario private career colleges collectively secured $385 million in OSAP grants for 2025, reflecting rapid enrollment growth at a small group of schools. Simona Conquo has the full story.
Students at 7 private career colleges across Ontario have collectively tapped into $385 million of OSAP grants this year. The surge reflects a wave of enrollment at a tight-knit group of institutions, pushing the number of applicants for the province's student aid program to record levels. Each college reports that the funding is covering tuition, books, and living costs for thousands of learners pursuing diplomas in fields ranging from healthcare to information technology. Officials say the rapid growth stems from targeted program offerings and aggressive marketing, drawing students who previously relied on public colleges. The influx of aid underscores the expanding role of private career schools within Ontario's post-secondary landscape. Simona Conquo, GMNA News, Toronto.
Thank you, Toronto, for joining us on the lunch break. Tonight's story of the missing Scarborough swimmer, found by vigilant beachgoers, reminded us of the strength of our community. I'm Jordan Parker, and I'll see you tomorrow for more news that matters to our city.